No idea where my days go.
Well, yeah, and then no mic required. So this is, the new age.
Okay, it seems that we are live. So good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday, May 29th, almost 3 months into our shelter-in-place order here in Santa Clara County. I'm Adrian Fine, Mayor of Palo Alto, and I'm joined by Ed Shikata, our city manager. How are you doing, Ed?
Great, thanks. About yourself, Matt?
Good, thanks. As we close the month of May, this is Table Talks, where we just go over a couple items that are on the city's plate, what we're dealing with, how we're moving forward through these difficult times. We are thinking that this may be our last Table Talk session. So if you absolutely love hearing from me and Ed every Friday afternoon at 2 p.m., please send us a note. Our emails are just ed.shikata or adrian.fine@cityofpalto.org. We'd love to hear from you. If there's no response, we may discontinue these sessions going forward.
No offense. We won't take any offense to that. It's okay.
Not at all. We're still live every Monday night anyways.
This is true.
So we are continuing to evolve how the city provides services to citizens, businesses, and visitors in this shelter-in-place order. Thank you to everyone for your continued listening and conforming to those rules. We know it's tough and it's really not easy, but it is saving lives and we're slowing the spread of the virus. The community still has to shelter in place. We are encouraging and in some cases requiring face coverings while out in public. On a personal note, a lot of folks, aren't always wearing face coverings. So please take that precaution. It's really about protecting your fellow community members and making sure that our society stays safe. So please follow the city's restrictions on that. Mr. Shikata?
Yep, absolutely. Well, and you still can wear your face covering when you go outdoors at our recreational areas. Would like to remind the community that tomorrow, Saturday, May 30th, will be the first weekend days that Foothills Park and the Baylands Park open space preserves will have parking areas open. So we will keep an eye on it and make sure that we're able to manage what could be expected to be groups, or not groups, but individuals, numerous individuals that will want to enjoy Baylands as well as Foothills. So this will be open. Please, you can and are encouraged to wear your face coverings while exercising there, but certainly while you're just out and about, you should definitely wear face coverings. And that will have our open space areas fully back up and running with vehicle access once again. Would also note that our parks and recreation facilities will continue operations according to the county guidelines, and a number of our facilities are our pools, dog parks, picnic tables and benches, barbecue areas, outdoor gym equipment, and playgrounds. I will note that keep an eye on the golf course. Baylands Golf Course may be loosening some of the rules soon. They are open, and we're working with them to increase some of the level of activities that can happen there. In addition, our parks, athletic fields, and skate parks, tennis courts, pickleball courts, and basketball courts are open. And again, social distancing rules still apply there. Limited to play with members of the same household for tennis and pickleball courts, and gathering in groups is not allowed per the health order. So that's the latest in terms of our facilities and activities there.
Thanks for those updates, Ed. And most of that is listed on the city's website, and the county has separate orders for county facilities. On the city's budget, so many of you know the city's been going through some pretty difficult budget discussions. We are required by our own code to adopt a budget, a balanced budget by the end of June, which goes into effect July 1st, our new fiscal year. So this past week on Tuesday, my colleagues and I continued our deliberations. Thank you to everyone in the community for sticking with us. I think in the end, we had something like 30, 32, 33 hours of budget meetings. over 4 or so days. So I can tell you the council, the staff, and I'm sure the community as well, we're really quite tired and worn out by it, but it's important work. We received a lot of input from people via email, phone calls, the online survey, joining our Zoom meetings and speaking up. And so we really do want to thank you all for your comments, thoughts, and questions. I think in a couple areas, they really helped guide the council and staff's thinking and ultimate decisions. So a number of budget adjustments or changes were approved this week, and I want to go through them a little bit just to let people know how things may shape out, although our final budget will be adopted June 22nd. So while a number of adjustments were made, we cannot avoid staff layoffs in this financial reality that we're facing. And as a result of those staff layoffs, some services will be reduced or see lower levels. Conversations continue with our labor groups, those actual staff members, and this could help save some services or reduce staff impacts. I think that's in everyone's interest, the community's interest, the city's interest, the council's interest. So please know we are working really, really hard on this. Based on what we know from this week, there are impacts to about 74 full-time positions and 26 part-time positions planned. So that's a total reduction of 15% in staffing as compared to last year. That's really quite significant for us as an organization and in terms of what services the community will see. Infrastructure spending is being reduced by about 56% reduction in FY21 alone. And there's been a lot of discussion on this, why can't the council cut building projects or infrastructure for services? I want to be here to say we have heard that message loud and clear. We are doing that as much as we can. This is in order to provide a minimal and responsible investment in our essential infrastructure. These are things that, even if, we want to fund services today and services for community members, we also have to invest in our future and our safety. And so these are things like sidewalk maintenance and sewer pipes replacements, where if we don't invest in those, there are more costs down the road. So it's really important to keep that in mind. A couple specific areas where we really heard from the community and are restoring to a higher level than originally proposed. Teen programming, so I think like the Maker X space, some of the teen councils and YCS, Youth Community Services, have been restored significantly. The College Terrace Library has been restored, but as a result, all 5 libraries are going to remain open on reduced schedules. So that means our neighborhood libraries, the 3 smaller ones, will only be open 3 days a week, beginning in July, I think. Is it July 1st, actually, when this takes effect? Or
would be thereabouts. Okay. Probably just after that.
Okay. And the 2 main libraries, Rinconada and Mitchell, will be open only 6 days a week and with reduced service hours. So those are some of the trade-offs we've considered. We've restored some service programming at the Art Center for Open Space Rangers and for the Children's Theater at Lucy Stern. So we really did hear from folks on those points and worked really hard between staff and council to identify other areas that could be cut deeper or projects that could be delayed to fund those services. This is certainly not perfect. I know there are a lot of disappointed folks out there, but we are in extraordinary times, and the city has to live within its means. With a $40 million reduction in revenue, we have to structurally change our spending, and we therefore cannot provide the services that many people are used to and love in this community, and that's disappointing for us as well. Next steps on the budget, staff will return on June 22nd with a final revised budget for capital expenses and for operating. And you can learn more at the cityofpaloalto.org/budget. So kind of related to budget, but not exactly, is business. A lot of folks around the country and across the state as well are beginning to talk about reopening strategies and what we can do to support businesses which have been hurt so much through this crisis. I'll note it also ties directly to our city's budget, right? If we have successful businesses, we have more tax revenue to spend on services that community members love. It's also really important, at least for me as a resident, I'm sure for those of you watching, we like having a vital, vibrant, downtown, or being able to go to Midtown and get a coffee or pick up some groceries or go to the pharmacy. That's really important for our community fabric too. So Ed, I was wondering if you could share a couple of updates on what the city is doing to support our local businesses.
Yep. Thank you very much, Mayor. First off, let me just reiterate, as you're saying, if nothing else, this crisis has really shown how interconnected the parts of our community are, whether it be our residents, the business community, and the government services that we provide. And that's there. The connections there are fiscal as well as really emotional as well. And as you point out, this budget process has been really difficult because it's required choices that have been really hard because people depend so much on services that are both provided by the city as well as really in partnership with the community. So as you said, thank you to the community for bearing with us and getting through that process. We're not done with it yet, but there have been quite a bit of progress and again, really difficult decisions along the way. So that said, really looking forward to recovery and everything that we can do to assist. We've got lots going on as it relates to working with business. First, I would acknowledge and thank the council for its investment of $500,000 for small business grants. And we did our lottery, and so we're in process with vetting confirmation of eligibility for businesses. And so we hope that over the course maybe of the next week, we'll be able to announce the businesses that were actually will be recipients of up to $10,000 to address some of the impacts that they've felt as a result of this COVID-19 emergency. That said, we are continuing to receive pre-applications as it's referred to, and our website, cityofpaloalto.org/business grant, one word, does have the form that any business that hasn't already put in can do so. We're also got the door open for donations, so community donations are welcome, and information is available on that website as well for individuals or other businesses that might be interested in donating to assist small businesses. Let's see, and meanwhile, right now, here's where we are with the public health order. As council knows, the county health order provides or allows for curbside pickup and delivery for retail as well as for restaurants. So given the reliance on the curbside drop off and pickup, we're working with individual businesses to see what we can do to support that. So in some cases, it's been signs that are branded signs that remind folks, hey, this is a pickup area for a restaurant or a retail store, as the case may be. And so allows more turnover on that parking space right in front of a business. So that's the today. That said, we're also preparing for tomorrow or maybe next week, hopefully very soon, when new directives come from the county health department that will hopefully allow us to actually roll out things like street closures and parklets, as it's referred to, use of on-street parking spaces for dining. So to help enable that as soon as the county health order allows it. So lots in the works, and I can get into more detail if you like, but perhaps we'll just leave it at that for now.
Sure. So I think just from my perspective, we have heard from hundreds, if not thousands, of people asking for us to do things like close university, close Cal Ave, allow the restaurants to open up cafe-style seating on the sidewalks. Maybe there's pick-up and drop-off points. The council has heard you loud and clear. We absolutely are interested in this. Me personally, I think one of the silver linings of this crisis is we do have an opportunity to reimagine what our commercial cores look like with, reductions in traffic and new requirements about social distancing and hygiene. We should kind of look for those small opportunities amid this bigger challenge about what our streets should look like. Should it be safer to bike on University? Should we close some streets to pedestrians only? Should we allow restaurants to have, different types of signage or, bigger seating in the front and back and parking lots? I think all those things should be considered. We are doing it as fast as we can. But as the city manager mentioned, we still have to maintain and abide by the county orders, which currently do not allow folks to dine in. So as much as we would love to have cafe seating for restaurants and bars and cafes on University or Cal Ave or elsewhere in town, it's still not allowed. And so I live right near the creek, and just a couple blocks up, you can go to Willow's Market and grab a sandwich and have it out front. You can't do that here in Palo Alto. That's San Mateo County. So we need to be aware and planning for that. But as the city manager mentioned, we are planning for it. And once the rules change, I'm really encouraging us to move quickly on that and try out a few new things downtown. We've heard from thousands of people about this. So that is super appreciated. So thank you. Really appreciate your time today, Ed, and everyone listening. As I mentioned at the beginning of our talk today, this is potentially the last table talk that we're doing. There are many, many other ways to reach the city, whether it's email, phone, cityofpaloalto.org/coronavirus, or the support local pages. If you do want these talks to continue, shoot us an email. We're happy to listen. We take your feedback very seriously. And I think I already covered some of the other ways to stay connected, but a couple I'll just run through again. cityofpaloalto.org/connect/newsletter sign up /coronavirus. Want to remind people, please only call 911 if you have an emergency. The police department non-emergency line, which can be used for violations you may see, is 650-329-2413. And we still have the community support call center open Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 6 p.m. That is 650-272-3181. I've gone through the other websites. So Ed, as I do each week, any good takeout this week?
Tonight will be Tarun Pizza. So I promised my family that, so they're looking forward to it.
Nice. Well, I treated myself to Taverna today for lunch, and when my wife gets home, she can have the Greek salad from them. It's a nice place. It's interesting seeing some of these restaurants which opened up not too, quite recently before the pandemic, and some of them are still going along. So, while we plan some of this shared streets and shared spaces work, the most important thing you can still do is shop at your local shops, go to a local restaurant for pickup or takeout, buy a gift card. Maybe you get to use it in a couple months. They just need your support today. So anything else, Mr. City Manager?
Oh, you got the last word.
I'm actually going to throw in one other thing. So earlier this afternoon, Ed and I actually were on a call with university mayors and city managers. So places like Gainesville, Florida, Champaign, Illinois, College Station, Texas, that also host other large universities. And we were trying to share some best practices about what does it look like when the universities come back into session. We may have a slightly harder task here in Santa Clara County, being one of the harder hit counties in the country. But many of these other communities are working with their university partners on things like business support, on trying to educate the college population that comes back. And Palo Alto will certainly share what we know, but look to those fellow communities for inspiration and ideas. So with that, it's 2:20 p.m. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. It's a little bit cooler. As Ed mentioned earlier, a lot of our recreational facilities are open now, but please continue to shelter in place as necessary, practice social distancing and good hygiene. And I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much, Ed.
Very good. Happy weekend.
Thanks.